Hi soulmates, welcome back to my channel. This is the Honest Fashion Academy. My name is Justice. So we're going to be making this beautiful blouse, and I've divided my fabric into two. And you can see that the garment has zipper in front, so I'm marking out my zipper allowance on the paper. That will be different from all the measurements that we're going to be taking. So our measurements will stop before the zipper allowance. So from top of the paper, which serves as my shoulder, I'm going to be marking the length of the blouse that I want. From there, I'm going to mark the waistline, the under bust, the bust line, and the armhole line. Armhole line is the same as the chest line, and you can get this by coming up 1.5 inches from the bust line. You can as well take this measurement or divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark all of this across and then we're going to continue. And now I'm going to mark my shoulder line and my neckline. So shoulder line is divided by 2, the front slant is 1.5, right, and basic neckline of 3 by 3 inches. All of these are just for formality. We might not be using them, but in case you need something else like a yoke, it will still serve as a lesson for you. Okay, in case you've not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. If you're a new person, thank you for watching, and also do well to subscribe. So I'm going to divide my bust by 4 and mark. But before then, I'm going to bring down my armhole line on a straight line, right? I'll bring it on a straight line, then go up by 3 inches and go in by 0.75. Then on the armhole line, I'm going to divide my bust by 4 and mark it. Then I'm going to use my armhole curve or the neckline curve to connect the lines together. Alright. On the bust line as well, I'll divide the bust into 4 and mark. I'll put the two of them together. Now the next we're doing is to mark our bust span, nipple to nipple measurements, and I'm going to rule it on a straight line as seen. Okay, so on this line we're going to take our dart intake for the front on the waistline, right? Now before I do that, I'll mark my hip divide by 4 and connect it straight to my bust measurement, the bust line. On the under bust line, I'm going to divide my under bust by 4 and mark, right? The same applies to the waist. Now whatever that is left after marking the under bust measurement, I'm going to use it as my dart intake on the under bust. I'm going to use it to tighten my under bust. So I'll connect from the under bust to the bust point using the curve that you can see the way I place it. Okay, now I'm going to connect from there straight to the dart leg on the hip line because I want that part to close up and give some form of allowance. It actually do give some form of allowance. We don't need it to be too tightened up. Okay, so I'm now going to connect the line to the under bust dart intake legs, that's legs, right? The tightening on the under bust, you can see the way it is. Now the same thing I did to the under bust, I will exclude the darts and mark out whatever I have. I'll use it more, or if I don't want to use it more, I'll snatch it from the side, right? I'll take it away from the side. It really does not matter. You can see the way it's going. So it's not a must that everything must go out from the actual waistline, even though it's recommended that the under bust, including the waist, should have more. And of course it has more here, right? So you can actually take it away from the side. Now coming to the upper parts, I will divide the shoulder by 2 and connect to the bust point. Divide and connect to the bust point as seen, and this is what we mean. Okay, so we're going to continue. Now on this upper part, we're going to draw our style line where we want the depth of the neckline to stop. Okay, so you have to determine where you want the depth of your neckline to stop. For me, I'm stopping a bit above the chest line, a bit above the chest line, and I'm going to draw my V-shape neckline. So wherever the line passes across, I'm going to tighten up on that line area. So I'm doing 0.75 on both sides, 0.75 on both sides, and I'll connect it back to the bust point. This is our over bust tightening. Connect it back to the bust point. There are so many ways to tighten this, and this here is very simple. So I'll measure the dart leg and measure the other one to be sure that they are the same. You can see that they are not the same. So I'm going to increase the line to make sure it matches up. Now to be more accurate, you need to fold the dart. Place one dart on top of the other and you're going to see the difference that you've marked and make the right correction. I hope this makes sense to you. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe. If you've watched up to this part, thank you very much. Okay, so we're making progress and we're going to mark out. You know that the style has an extension from the actual shoulder line, armhole area. So we're going to mark our extension from there depending on the size of the strap that we want that will go backwards. That is the width of the strap. Okay, like I said, please designers subscribe to my channel and help me so that the algorithm will push the video up, will push the video. It's not pushing the video, everything is just remaining the same. Please help me so that I can continue to push the video and let other people see it. So after that, I'm going to mark my bust dart, which is the difference between the front half length and the back half length, and connect it to the bust points. Okay, only God knows what I was working about for, and I hope you don't mind. All right, so I'm still working about again. I think it's all for the of betterment of the pattern. So I've cut everything out. I've cut everything out, and you can see that the upper part is matching. And if it has any issues, we're just going to arrange it properly. Make sure that everything is fine, but here everything is matching up. So we're going over to the back side. All I'm going to do to the back now is to mark the length of the blouse at the back, excluding the dart intake of 1.2 inches. Mark my armhole line. The upper part is not that necessary because this garment does not have a yoke. So I'm just going to create like an armhole just to give us a guide on how to go about it. All right, so all I'm going to do is to mark out the parameters and then from there we'll make our connections. This is my armhole. Like I said, it's not that compulsory or important, right? Because we do not need the upper parts. Okay, so I'm going to mark my bust divide by 4, my waist divide by 4. At the back, we're not going to be having any dart intake at the back. We're not having any dart intake at the back, so I'm just marking my actual measurements and connecting them together. For the hip line, please use your hip cuff so that it comes out really beautiful. Now from the center line, I'm going to mark away 2 inches. You could do 1.5, you could do 1 inch, depending on how tightened up you want the corset to be or how open you want the back to be. So this part is going to go off, right? It's going to go off, and the other part is just what we need. Like I said, we don't need the dart line, but we can place our boning anywhere around the pattern. I hope this makes sense. So the part that I'm cutting off is not among, and we're not going to be exaggerating this here because it is under a wrapper, under a garment. So you're not going to be exaggerating it. You just cut your actual measurement, and that is what I am doing here. You can see the way it is. So after cutting and putting them together, the front and the back, or just only the front alone, we can now extend the strap that will go backwards, right? You can see the way it is at the front. We can now extend the strap that will go backwards. Now for this front line, you can decide to reduce it a bit. I'll show you why I said you can decide to reduce it a bit, because it is too pointy and might begin to fold, right? It is too pointy and might begin to fold, and that is very necessary. A trial is going to convince you in all of this. Once you try it out and see how it works, you will have any correction that you want to make that will to suit your body or your client's body. But trust me, the process of this draft is just perfect for any measurement. So I'm putting the two together and I'm going to show you the outcome. Now this is the strap. It can be like 25 to 30 inches long depending on how high you want it to be on your shoulder. Remember that we're going to bone all of this so that it stands properly. Now we're going to mark where to place this. So like I said, starting from the tip might make the sleeve to fold, so you can choose to reduce it a bit, right? And then connect it to the back, into the center back, before the lacing, into the center back, and that is where it's supposed to be. Now while placing it, you have to determine how you actually want it to be. Alright, but this is the process of making this garment. It is quite easy and simple to make. Quite easy and simple to make. It's not that difficult, and I hope you're going to give it a try. If you do, please let me know in the comment section. Ask any question that you want to ask, and I'm going to show you or answer you. Don't mind the waka about though, okay? Don't mind the waka about, and it's all for the betterment of this. You can see the way it's folding at that tip, and that's why I said to reduce it so that it does not do so.